Hey guys, welcome back to another What If. Today we're doing part 19 to What If Korean's Chakra turns Naruto into a female. If you want to know what happened in the last part, there'll be a link in the description down below where you can watch all the parts in order from part 1 to the current part. With that out of the way, let's get into this What If. So, it'd be a couple minutes to an hour after they'd gone back to Konoha and somewhat now. And Naruto was somewhat feeling a bit excited, as of course when she and Privy Sage had left, the gaining exams were, the third part of the gaining exams were being redone. So obviously besides from her being in there and I think, I can't remember his name, Neji also obviously won't be doing, playing a part in there because, well, maybe he would. Though if he was, he still wouldn't sort of be promoted due to his initial sort of reaction to trying to kill Hinata and that. So at the moment, he wouldn't get promoted. Anyway, though, so yeah, she'd end up somewhat finding Kakashi, and Kakashi trying to tell her that her and Kakashi sort meet up, and Naruto who someone would ask him if who had somewhat who had been promoted, and Kakashi would go, well we're somewhat all now tuning, well I'm still joining, but Sasuke and Sakura are tuning as well, and so is Shikamaru. Naruto would stare at Kakashi and go, you're joking, right, Sensei? The lazy Nara, how on earth did he get promoted? And Kakashi would go, I don't know, Naruto. I do not know, but Hokage-sama had promoted him as well. Naruto would just somewhat nod, and she'd go, and there's, I guess something I need to tell you as well, Kakashi Sensei. Kakashi would look at him going, what's that? She'd sort of say, I'm going, Orochimaru, he's back. And Kakashi would go, what? How? I thought that the Shinigami had taken his soul to, well, I had someone ate his soul, so did I, but the snake's a slippery one and managed to seemingly slip out. Or, well, yeah, and how dry had someone explained that snake sort of has obviously I think called the cast mark, and that may be obviously on the way back, that maybe he used that, maybe his subordinate Kabuto had somewhat used that somehow and brought Orochimaru back to life. I should go, maybe, but was it? It wasn't a reanimation, Sensei. It was pure back to life, like he'd never died. I should be sort of a bit shocked. Yeah. And from there, around a month would go by, as obviously Tsunade's coronation would of course go by, like after a week, after a couple of days to a week. Her coronation had obviously gone, and Team 7 had gone on, Team 7 had gone on at least somewhat one C rank, just somewhat just basic C rank, nothing that would take a month or that to do. And yeah, and well, yeah, so far everything was going just fine, as Naruto would somewhat just be wandering, and someone Naruto would just be wandering around the somewhat village Sakura had someone had some asked Tsunade if she could, so obviously if she could somewhat train her to become a medic, and Tsunade had thought about it and had thrown her to Susan instead. As she had paperwork to do and that, so Susan was currently training Sakura in the way of the medic. And yeah, though all of a sudden she'd somewhat similarly look towards the gate and could feel something didn't feel right. People were definitely somewhat fast approaching, so she'd send over to the front of the gate, and the gate guard somewhat seeing that would ask if everything was somewhat okay, and or if she somewhat had a mission or that, she'd shake her head and she'd somewhat tell them that she could feel like a couple of people fast approaching. They would just somewhat nod, and you could feel the Anbu in the shadows somewhat get ready, just in case someone is trying to go straight through the gates and invade. Though thankfully after a bit she'd end up turning to somewhat stand down, as she could see that they were Konoha Shinobi, though she'd immediately somewhat changed that and somewhat tell them to go get with someone yell for the unburned shadows to go get somewhat Tsunade, as it seemed like they needed a medic instead. And would disappear, and Tsunade would somewhat would Sunshine immediately by her seconds later and would ask her what is going on, and she would just point somewhat forward to the shinobi that were still very much fast approaching them, and she would somewhat end up realising she'd somewhat think to herself, where's Sasuke, as she'd sent somewhat Sasuke and the two other shinobi that were fast approaching them somewhat out on a somewhat mission. And yeah, Sakura was also out on a somewhat another mission, though she was with somewhat Shikamaru and another somewhat Chunin, somewhat getting some resupplies for the hospital at the moment. As Tsunade would somewhat we'd obviously wonder and somewhat hope that obviously Sasuke didn't done something reckless and died or gotten himself killed or that, though eventually after a couple of seconds they'd somewhat end up and then going, Kage-sama, it's Sasuke. They should should tell them to go to the to someone just report to Naruto. She'd just start she'd somewhat tell them to report at the somewhat tower to Hiruzen, who is somewhat currently there. As obviously Hiruzen was somewhat helping Tsunade somewhat out, as she'd somewhat stamp them and Hiruzen would read over them. So while he was somewhat retired, though he was obviously going into retirement. So anyway, they would not need to somewhat go over, and should go with Tsunade to the somewhat hospital, and should outside as Tsunade would take Sasuke somewhat into the place with probably some medic and going in there as well to help Tsunade out. A minute or so later, and Mannin would somewhat come out and would somewhat ask her if she has any somewhat sealing supplies. Naruto would crack around and go, well, I've got them at home, I can go fetch them. The magnum someone not done with time to go do that and then come in. Naruto would somewhat be somewhat just think that the only thing that could mean that he had a seal on him, or she could feel somewhat either a knot on her stomach or just a knot or something simply vanish, as also Sasuke somewhat being bit by Orochimaru. She'd end up quickly sunshine back home, getting her somewhat sealing supplies, and would quickly return, and would somewhat going with Tsunade and the other mountains that they can leave. They would nod and they would need nod. Tsunade would then tell Naruto to put up a somewhat privacy barrier if she could. She'd somewhat nod as she'd go through a couple of hand signs, and a privacy barrier would somewhat erupt. Tsunade would somewhat look at her and go, well, he's been bit, she'd say, and Naruto would do somewhat mid-cast as Shinu obviously, well, that actually meant that Orochimaru had given Sasuke the cast mark, and she'd somewhat end up though she'd ask Tsunade if she had any big scrolls at all, like massive ones like the Forbidden Scroll. Tsunade would ask why. She'd go, well, I'm somewhat going to try and understand I'm going to try and somewhat understand it, but I'm going to require something that big to be able to transfer possibly all the somewhat obviously, the somewhat breakdown on the cell onto that, so I can try and understand it. Tsunade would nod and would soon somewhat disappear, and a couple minutes later she'd somewhat reappear with two somewhat big scrolls saying that this was somewhat all they had at the somewhat time empty. She'd just nod as she'd somewhat she'd somewhat draw to somewhat seals, seemingly though with a slight seemingly marked difference in simply saying that once, though the difference between two, all it meant is that when she'd somewhat activate the jutsu to break the once she done the somewhat Uzumaki Funjutsu to break down the seal, so that she could obviously somewhat understand it, so that she could get rid of the one on Sasuke, or at least apply a seal that would suppress it, or at the very least keep it in line. Yeah, and that once one was obviously filled up, it would then flow to the next one in line. Anyway, and and after 30 seconds, she would finish the answers required for some a seal analyzation and breakdown. So obviously activate it, and and seconds later, and it would be done, as she would then somewhat open both these scrolls, and the second one was somewhat almost 490, somewhat about 99% of the second scroll was somewhat just filled with pure information about the somewhat seal. she then somewhat start just reading over it, and these somewhat different layers, and she'd somewhat so she'd realise she had no real, or at least somewhat at the moment, just from reading it, she could just barely understand it. So she'd somewhat end up telling Snide the only seal that would she'd somewhat suggest would be the seal that would just draw on her some of the user's willpower. The stronger it is, the obviously stronger the seal is. Snide would just Snide would start doing that seal, and yeah, that would state that she'd be going home to try and figure all the information on the two scrolls out. Snide would just nod and would tell her that at the moment to not tell no one, and not even Sakura if she comes back. Naruto would just nod and state that she won't, and would then leave with with the two big scrolls and the Hosina surprise. And yeah, from there another month would go by, and as the days, and she'd somewhat say as since that day Sasuke had definitely somewhat the first 2 to 3 days, Sasuke after waking up was relatively fine. He simply seemed the same, though from there he did slowly start changing, and simply changing back to kind of how he was, almost power-obsessed, and somewhat, I'm the only one that can kill my brother and that, and yeah, and it's obviously hard to see her somewhat in a way her brother figure, or at least who she somewhat saw as a brother figure, somewhat end up going back down that path, all because of somewhat Orochimaru, and the curse mark was obviously slowly obviously somewhat making him mentally somewhat unstable, and that, and yeah, and she still didn't really understand the set at all. She understood maybe a tiny bit more, but not much. And yeah, it was kind of odd because it wasn't as complicated as as the seal on the stomach, and yet it also seemed it didn't seem as complicated, but also seemed just as much, if not more complicated, as it was like double or triple laid seal, which at the moment she didn't quite know how to obviously properly get rid of in one go. She could get rid of in stages, but not in one go, and it was clear from the start that this seal would require to be somewhat gone in one go, and not in stages. Though she just ended up playing that way, so I was going to tell her to not worry, as kid, if you somewhat tries and somewhat leaves where you're more than strong enough to somewhat drag him back to come to her. I do somewhat and go, well, I guess, but if he does just leave, will he leave by himself, or will Orochimaru send some, somewhat the people that, that he had some obviously around to stop, who put up that purple barrier when he tried to kill the old man. And Fox would go silent for a minute before stating that even so, she'd even if that happens, you still should very much be strong enough to take maybe not them all on at the same time, but if they end up splitting up and one stays behind, she could easily somewhat take them on, one by one, with either her own kitsune chakra or with mine current state. She just somewhat not that should now be somewhat within the seal. They would talk for a bit longer before that would end up somewhat seemingly somewhat curling up around Kurama as she'd go to sleep. Though she'd only be asleep for somewhat, for at least for around somewhat 2 hours, as they'd somewhat be banging at her door. She'd somewhat latch up, she'd launch upwards and somewhat side to side as she'd somewhat stretch, and she'd realise that it was still very much night. She'd look over to her clock, and Mal could just barely make out the time of it saying 12. I should wonder who on earth was somewhat someone knocking at her door at freaking midnight of all things. Though she'd somewhat look down and she'd walk over. She was just somewhat in a top at the moment. Thankfully, a somewhat top that was somewhat at least slightly too, just somewhat slightly too big, or at least it seemed that way to almost anyone else. So it was more of a somewhat night dress. So it was designed to be longer. And I should someone go over to someone go over and should someone answer her front door. She'd go, what do you want? Should somewhat blink and she'd go, huh? Oh, sorry, Sakura. So what are you doing up at this time? As Sakura somewhat somewhat tears in her eyes as Naruto would go, what's wrong? What is going on? As she'd go, it's Sasuke, he's left. As Naruto would go, white eyes and go, what? And as Sakura would somewhat tell her once again that Sasuke had left, he had abandoned the village. Naruto would just be surprised, as just obviously not too long ago, and Kurama was just thinking 2 hours somewhat ago, Kurama were thinking what might happen if he does decide that. Ironic much. And she'd she'd ask Sakura if she'd told Tsunade yet, and she'd somewhat nod as she'd somewhat state that she told me to get you and then somewhat come back. I would tell her to somewhat wait. To somewhat wake up with some minutes as she'd get changed into her shinobi gear. Sakura just nod, and somewhat 2 minutes later she'd be back out in somewhat her full shinobi gear, and she'd then somewhat look her house as she'd sungeon over to she'd somewhat hold Sakura's she'd put her arm on Sakura's I can't think of the name now. Shoulder as Naruto sends them both back over to the Hokage Tower. Yes, Naruto would go and somewhat bash through the doors and go, what do you want? Somewhat, grinding. I was freaking sleeping, and I hear from Sakura that that Sasuke decided to abandon the village. So Naruto realised that Hizen was also there. As should crack an eyebrow at that, so Naruto would somewhat tell the two, somewhat tell Sakura to continue where she somewhat left off. Sakura denied and would explain to them what had somewhat happened initially. Naruto then somewhat look at them and go, then why me? Like, somewhat, why shouldn't you be saying that, Jonin, like we're only freshly tuning in. So Naruto say, I should go, well, it's because I don't have any other, all these somewhat Jonin are either out or are, just come back from a mission already. And most of the ones that have come back are, ones from month to 2 or 3 months away. So using the only option. I would say I should then look at Sakura and go, I'm sorry Sakura, but you'd be better off staying here. So I could start her stand and try and argue the point that, she should go with her, and that she was also somewhat like Team 7 and that she should try though. That would somewhat be stubborn and would just shake her head, pointing out that she may be a member of Team 7, but she was also very much still had, and that she still had feelings for Sasuke, even though she may not now publicly, somewhat act on them like she used to do. They'd still end up affecting her. Sakura would try and say otherwise, and Naruto just finally somehow have enough and would knock Sakura out. So Naruto would say as she'd somewhat and though she'd tell Naruto that she'd told Sakura a similar thing, same basis though similar wording. Naruto does nod and tell her to make sure she obviously doesn't try and somewhat run out. So just nod those who would tell her to at the very least somewhat consider bringing Shikamaru. She'd nod as she'd make a couple of shadow clones, one going to one going to Shikamaru's house, one going to Lee's apartment, one going to the Hyuga estate to go get as much as she'd rather take Hinata with her. Neji was a lot better, plus Neji had somewhat had become a lot nicer since she had beaten him Black and Blue. She truly had knocked some sense into him. And so pretty much the Konoha retrieval team, or the Sasuke retrieval team, would be the exact same, besides from one extra inclusion, which would be Lee's, Rock Lee. So instead of obviously him being in the hospital like he was in canon, he wouldn't be in this time around due to Gaara obviously being friends with Naruto earlier on. Yeah, anyway though, from there they would obviously somewhat head out with somewhat Ino Ino wishing them obviously somewhat good luck and that. And some way similar thing would end up just happening. They would of course end up breaking up, and Naruto and Lee would end up going after Sasuke, though obviously they'd end up entering a massive clearing, and Rock Lee would hello to somewhat, though of course somewhat a minute or so into the fight, and Sasuke would end up obviously getting out the barrel and end up running away, and Lee would somewhat tell Naruto to go after him, and that he would keep this unuseful person at bay while so you can try and get Sasuke back. Very much unuseful friend back. Should thank Lee. So then somewhat would run off at somewhat low somewhat on speed, sending chakra into her legs. And yeah, from there they would end up arriving at she'd end up catching up to Sasuke and would arrive at the Valley of the End. And she'd obviously try and she'd obviously ask Sasuke, why somebody's leaving, and he'd say that kind of was holding him back. Though she'd ask how they holding, somewhat him back, and that, why the obviously somewhat sudden change, like a month ago he was nice and now he's all arrogant again. And yeah, they would end up talking for a bit, though eventually Sasuke would have enough and would somewhat start charging her in the state, and he would state that if she wouldn't let him leave, then he would kill her. And so they would end up fighting, and whilst she most definitely did have much better fighting skills, like against Sasuke, though eventually obviously Sasuke would end up pulling into the Cosmo Point stage, which she could still just about keep up with, sending chakra all throughout her body and all throughout every single muscle. And yeah, though eventually it'd end up obviously going into the charismatic stage 2, and she'd end up start pulling on the Fox chakra. As the fight would continue onwards, she'd end up pulling more and more on Kuma's chakra up until she'd end up going into the one-tailed state, which Sasuke calls from landing a Chidori straight through her shoulder. And yeah, obviously Kuma's own somewhat chakra and her own Kitsune chakra would rapidly heal the damage away. And yeah, Sasuke would somewhat just somewhat snarl at the power that Naruto seemingly has, as the fight would seemingly kick up into a somewhat next gear as they would somewhat fight. Kurama could very much see that obviously that Sasuke was getting, the longer this fight went on, the slightly stronger Sasuke seemed to get, which meant his body and his chakra was getting acclimated to the Sil and its chakra that he was clearly using. Yeah, and then the next thing Kurama knew, she's feeling Naruto somewhat, not, she could feel her chakra draining from Naruto, or more so, Naruto wasn't pulling on her chakra much anymore, and she's wondering what was going on. Had Sasuke caught in a genjutsu or what? Though she'd end up signing relief, as Naruto would end up pulling on her chakra, which of course being more acclimated, well, our body being more acclimated to it because it's producing it, meant she'd be using the same amount of chakra. A single tail should be just a bit faster, just a bit stronger than using Kurama's own chakra. Yeah. And yeah, from there the fight would end up seemingly continuing and getting obviously, bigger. Eventually Sasuke would end up causing her to relapse into using 1/3 of her Kitsune chakra, or in other words, she'd end up slightly transforming into a Kitsune state or form. Now she'd end up sprouting a single violet purple tipped tail and 2 violet purple tipped fox ears. Her eyes would go slit like, they'd somewhat almost been slit like the second she'd poured on the smallest amount of her own Kitsune chakra. And the reason why is because Sasuke had once again done somewhat, I'd somewhat tried doing I'd done Chidori once again, though it was pretty much in a similar place. Yeah, the fight would once again, obviously seemingly kick up into another high gear, though Sasuke would realise somewhat as he'd pant, he could feel some of himself seemingly get stronger. As he'd fight, he'd get weaker, but as he'd stop, somewhat obviously fighting to catch his breath, seemingly he would get stronger again. And so, eventually the, seemingly last fight Naruto would end up using Rasengan, Sasuke would do a Chidori, and though the Rasengan somewhat, or at least the wind that would rip around from the Rasengan would just manage to nudge Sasuke's hand enough to get it away from her heart, seemingly, as Sasuke truly was going to go and kill her, though instead his Chidori would go right through her lung. Straight through it. And Naruto's Rasengan would just seemingly mark Sasuke's hitters. The Rasengan would dispel, and Sasuke would pull his obviously back through her, out of her, and she'd seemingly collapse to the ground. Sasuke would turn around and start walking off, though he never once had awoken the Mangekyo. Though Naruto's obviously, Naruto would quickly quickly heal the damage done to her. The gaping hole right the way through her and through her lung would quickly re-heal. Though it would take a bit too long, so she'd ended up passing out, but she was alive. And once that was held, her Kitsune chakra would she'd end up returning back to her human form. And Kurama would somewhat realise that Naruto didn't have much more time, maybe a couple months left before her kitchen chakra would truly convert all of her human chakra to truly kitchen, and her body would then only produce her kitchen chakra from that point forward. And anyway, she'd end up waking up to Sasuke not to Sasuke, to Kakashi, carrying her back to Konoha. She'd somewhat look around Kakashi, though before she could ask Kakashi, somewhat tell her that. Kakashi would tell her, would simply tell her to somewhat calm down, that they were heading back to Konoha. She'd ask where Sasuke was, and Kakashi would simply state that he wasn't there when I got to you. That would let out a sigh as she just nod. And once she'd, obviously after a while of running, Kakashi carrying Naruto on his back, would arrive back to Konoha, and Tsunade would track Naruto out, though seeing that she was perfectly fine, her Kitsune and Kuruma's own chakra making sure she was perfectly fine. Though she'd ask, obviously, Tsunade if she'd have to stay in the hospital. Tsunade would shake her head, and Naruto would ask how everyone else was doing. She'd state that Shikamaru was really the only one that seemingly got away somewhat with no real serious damage. Kakashi then somewhat would state, "What do you mean? You just said Naruto was fine." Snyder just stare at him and go, "It's clear she'd been, Kakashi, she'd just point at somewhat Naruto's, somewhat jacket she was wearing, and she'd go, that clearly looks like, she's been impaled by some stuff." Naruto somewhat sighs, she'd somewhat tell them, obviously report on the mission and that. And Kakashi would obviously somewhat pale, and Tsunade would sigh. And Tsunade would just think Naruto was obviously damn lucky to have her own Kitsune chakra, which was the main reason how she managed to heal, obviously, the damage done completely somewhat to her lung and that, and even the somewhat obviously electrical damage, that the Chidori had obviously somewhat done to the surrounding area, and somewhat slight damage to her heart was once that would have initially been there. Somewhat in canon, it wasn't there thanks to her Kitsune chakra healing her to quite a high degree. Anyway, Tsunade tell her that Toji and what's his name, that Choji, was somewhat, while he was stable, though he is far from probably out of the woods yet, so though he's stable and slowly getting better. And the same with it's Hinata's first cousin. I can't remember his name. I should say that, he would be that, a similar thing, that, though, once, obviously, she'd once, yeah, she and Gas would leave Shikamaru catch up. Well, yeah, would somewhat catch up to Naruto and ask somewhat wide, but yeah, or at least somewhat wide happening, somewhat obviously her end when he'd somewhat split up from them, and she'd somewhat tell them. Well, yeah, she'd tell him. He'd somewhat nod, and yeah, she'd end up spotting Gaara conquering Tamari, and obviously catch up with them as well, with them, telling her obviously when they had arrived, and yeah, Tamari didn't even somewhat make fun of Shikamaru. And yeah, guys, with that I'm gonna end this part here. So yeah, if you have enjoyed this, tell me in the comments down below. And well, yeah, guys, have a good day or night depending on wherever you are and whenever you watch this. And yeah, I'm probably going to change the thumbnail for part 20 due to the fact that we'll be going into Shippuden era. And yeah, guys, have a good day or night depending on wherever you are whenever you watch this. And hey, good bye.